I'm joined here now by Jackiem Joyner, and now you're not only an author, but you are an artist and a musician and wear a lot of hats. But for those who don't know too much about you, could you just go a little bit into your background?
I am a contemporary jazz saxophonist and author. Most people in my industry know me as a saxophone player. I toured all over the world as a performing artist, and I have a lot of songs at radio. I have a couple of hits on the Billboard. I've got about 9 albums out now, and I started as a performer slash producer in 2007 with my very first album. And then I started to dabble into literature and writing, I think right around 2013, 14, and found that I had a passion also for writing just as much as producing music. So right now I'm currently getting ready for a pretty big summer tour. Well, I'll be going to Chicago, New York, Orlando, Miami. So I'm really looking forward to that because obviously haven't been to tour as much because of the pandemic. So this is an exciting time to kind of get back out there and do music. In the meantime, I'm still writing. So that's just in a nutshell. There's a lot more, but I hope that answers at least a little bit.
Yes, that's really exciting. Now, speaking of your writing, your most recent book was A Minor Assassin. So, if somebody hasn't had the chance to pick it up yet, what can they expect?
It's a young teenager who eventually becomes a vigilante and decides to take the law into his own hands because of a tragedy that happened to his family. He's really young when something horrible happens at the age of 8. He gets whiffed off to Japan for with some really what I like to say, rich Japanese people who supportedly were supposed to protect his family, but they weren't able to. But they trained this young John to exact his revenge at some point back in Las Vegas, where he comes back at the tender age of 15 to look for his sister and to find those who brought harm on his family. So it's really interesting because he learns how to do a lot of techie things in addition to learning how to fight. I will just give you a quick note that it's got some violence in it, and it takes place in Las Vegas, which makes it a lot of fun because he's doing a lot of espionage and things like that, trying to get into casinos and find these bad dudes. So it turns out that detectives are looking for the same bad guys that he's looking for, except for he finds them first.
Yes, that sounds really interesting. And this book came out in 2020. So, just what have you heard from fans throughout that time?
People are loving it. I mean, it was surprising to a lot of people because it's a little bit different from my first novel, Zaria, which is more of a teenage science fiction, a little bit of fantasy on another planet. But Minor Assassin is more real world because it kind of deals with real tragedy and real police and detectives. So it's one of those kind of mystery suspense books that you would be like, wow, I wonder what's going to happen. And it is kind of real world, unlike Zaria, which a lot of people know me for that. So, but it still deals with a teenager, which one of my fans did ask me, what is my obsession for writing roles for teens? I don't know. So the first teen was Zaria, and she's a girl, and now John is a boy. But I just kind of like, everyone underestimates the teenagers and they think they're stupid and they can't do things. And I kind of wanted to challenge that. People really loved it. They enjoyed the book. I've been getting tons of feedback from Minor Assassin. And some people have even asked me, am I going to turn it into a series? Because the book kind of hints at other teenagers around the world who are starting to coalesce behind this faction from Japan that is trying to take on crime worldwide. So something that I'm thinking about in the future.
That's really great to hear. And you mentioned earlier about your tour and just about some of your music. So, how does it feel for you to be able to get out and perform again?
It was so amazing because I just left. I was recently in Orlando and Boca Raton, Florida, and it was just amazing crowds. And some people hadn't seen me since 2019, which is crazy because I'm always going to Florida every year. And I was really cool to see some of the fans again and see their smiling faces and then see the big audiences again. perform. Honestly, I just had so much energy I had never seen before, and they could see it. I could feel the energy from the audience. So it was really good to get back out there, and everyone is really excited for me to get back on the road again this year and to kind of keep it going because it really sucks that the pandemic kind of put a damper on a lot of the music, the live music at least. So honestly, I'm just really excited to get back to it.
And if anyone wants more information on you and your music and your books, where should they go?
The best place to go is to my website, which is just my first and last name, JackemJoyner.com. And that's spelled JackieMJoyner.com. It's mostly about my music and my tour. However, I do have my books link on my website. But you can also follow me on Instagram at Jackiem Joyner as well. Same thing, Twitter at Jackiem Joyner. But I'm mostly on Instagram. You send me a message, I'll send it right back.
Thank you so much for your time today, Jackie.
Yes, thank you. This has been a pleasure.